Yeah, you can tell it's a hungry group. You know, they listened to me preach for a little bit, and just talking about some of the more of the intangibles that I think set players and teams apart. Stuff I know they're already getting from coach. But they asked some really good questions. They were all locked in, and I don't know. I love trying to sense a room and what's the vibe here. And that vibe in that room was they're wanting to do something, and it's a cool place to be this time of year.
Just how rewarding is it, traveling and just being able not just give back, but then meet so many fans that, want to pick your brain about baseball and everything in between?
Yeah, I'm a Cardinal, and I played for a few other teams, but this is where we decided to set our roots, and had a good long run as a player and as a manager, and experienced a lot, and got to see Cardinal fandom maybe at its best, with some really good long streaks of winning, and to try and pass on some of the tradition that's become what is really hard to do, to win as much as that franchise has won. And you feel, and part of the conversation with the guys here today at Arkansas State was, hey, what did I pick up along the way that I believe are things that happen that you can control? You only have so much talent, but things you can control that can help kind of get a legacy like that going and keep it going.
Looking back on your career, you've probably been asked this 1,000 times, but is there one moment from your playing career or your coaching career that really stands out to you?
I'll give you three.
Okay.
Yeah, three moments. The first one is kind of my default. As soon as I, and as soon as many young boys out there pick up the first baseball and bat and start watching it on TV, they dream. They dream of being there, and it's a great dream. And I had many people tell me that it wasn't a dream I was going to be able to achieve. And so the first day I stepped on that major league field is one that it was 20 plus years in the making, and so much had to go right. So many people, from my family to all the coaches and teammates, just so much investment into me as a person as well as a player. To see that all come to fruition, pretty special. My number two would be the World Series, because I can't count the number of games I played in the backyard. That it's the World Series and it's all on the line, and now we gotta make something happen. So walking onto a World Series field and experiencing the kind of winning that it took to get there. It's one, getting to the major leagues. Two, winning in the major leagues is something really, really special. And the third one, on a personal note, is, it was when I came over to St. Louis. I'd been released twice by the Brewers and by the Blue Jays, and it looked like my career was over. And it was kind of this epiphany moment that there was a faith component to it too, to where I was tired of kind of squeezing the life out of fear of failure, and time to let it all hang out, and time to go and just have no regrets in how you go about this thing, however long it lasts. It was almost this, this concept of kind of when you surrender some things, you win. Oxymoron, but it made sense to me.
At what point in time did you think managing was the next direction you wanted to go to post-career?
Yeah, the day they called me for an interview, because I had no idea, and that's the honest goodness truth. I'd heard Tony La Russa had said it even when I was still playing. He said this guy's going to manage someday, and I remember sitting there thinking like, hey, I'm in my early 30s. Let's just keep talking about me playing here, right? But he saw something, and that was a great compliment, I know. And a greater compliment when John Mozeliak called me right after the team won the World Series in 2011. And said he wanted me to come in for an interview. And I don't think he thought that I was going to end up being the next manager of the St. Louis Cardinals. I think he was paying me a compliment that if that was something that I'd like to do, that maybe there's a chance down the road. But praise God that that timing went ahead of all of us.
Selfishly, I want to ask, I'm a lifelong Cubs fan, so I got to ask, what is maybe your best Cubs Cardinals moment?
Yeah. You still welcomed in this area?
Hey, listen, I don't give them a choice.
I appreciate your boldness. I was just talking with another Cubs fan. Those were some of my favorite games by far. There was so much deep hatred towards us that it created the kind of atmosphere that you couldn't wait to get back there. And I don't know if there was a moment. Every single one of those games was a moment, and it could have been anybody's career highlight to play in that atmosphere. It's just the life and energy that fans bring, and I know our fans bring equal sentiment straight back to the Cubs fans as well, and it's just a fun environment to play in.
Just what are your thoughts like looking now at the 2025 Cardinals? Like a lot of youth, and then there's some experience in there too.
Yeah, I haven't been that tuned in to the organization since I left. I can't help but keep an eye on it, but I do know that there's an urgency. It's a fan base that got very used to winning, and it's an organization that got very used to winning, and that's a great habit. I explained that to the team here today, that it needs to be a habit, and the other end of that can be a habit too, and the expectations set really low. So I know that there's a push to try and get it back to what we saw for a long period of time, but I think it's also a great reminder to all of us how hard it is, and it's not easy to keep that kind of winning. If you can go buy a team, that's one thing, but for most teams like where the Cardinals are, you're going to have a lot of things hit right, and